finally back in Pell's Gate. It's been a while, but I'm just about ready to upload the mod. I've done quite a bit on it in terms of fixes and cleaning and just some basic enhancements to it. But before I move on, upload the mod and move on back to Skyrim or Fallout 4, I just want to do one last thing while I'm testing it all out, and that is a walkthrough of the main quest of Pell's Gate Gallery. And the reason why is because this mod is hands down the best mod I've ever made. I would like to say that Ultra Rodent in Skyrim is, but it's not. Pell's Gate in Shezrie's town is the best mod I've ever made, hands down. It's a 36 building town, it's got an underground town. It has, I think, 6 quests, small and larger. I don't remember exactly how many. Well, there you go. There's so much in it, I've forgotten an awful lot of it. But it was this mod that was made over a 3-year period. I poured a heck of a lot into it. And one of the things I did in this mod was create the main quest in the Pell's Gate Gallery, and that is a quest that was the best fun to implement. It's a mystery quest, and I loved every minute of it because it's right up my alley, this style of quest. And basically, in this video, I'm going to do a walkthrough of that quest. It's probably going to take quite a while, so it might sort of flow over into another video, but finally, after 5 years, was asked so many times when the mod first came out to do this walkthrough. Finally, it's gonna happen. And this is where we start. We start here at the local news and the most recent Black Horse Courier, and I'm just going to talk 1 second about this here. This news board, it's dynamic with the town as the player completes quests or does particular things. This local news board will change and a new copy of the Black Horse Courier will appear. So if you're playing the mod, keep an eye on it. And it's that kind of dynamic changing of the town that I want to take into future mods as well. There's a lot in Pell's Gate that I would like to take into future mods. Perhaps one day when I build that city that I've been wanting to build for a long time. But moving on, there's a lot of dialogue in it. I'm going to have to read through it all, especially at the beginning, and then as things unfold. Right, well, we'll just dive right in. So, Septim Crown stolen, the Black Horse Courier. And you need to take this with you, but the Septim Crown stolen right under the nose of the gallery's new curator. The famed Septim Crown, the most valuable piece on display in Pell's Gate Gallery, has vanished. In spite of new security features installed recently, the crown vanished right under the noses of the staff and guards at the gallery. The curator and guards are left baffled, and even more baffled that the other 2 crowns in the same display, the Heir Crown and the Empress Crown, were not taken. So the theft was noticed by the curator during a daily early morning routine check of all the royal jewels display, and the Septim Crown had been replaced with a cheap replica crown that is sold in one of the gallery's gift shops. So we need to take this with us and head straight into the gallery over here. I did put in a walkthrough, but I'm going to try it without the walkthrough, so this could be quite embarrassing when you can't figure out your own quest. Or not. We'll just go with it. So head straight into the gallery, and I'm hoping to find Margaret, the curator. And of course we have this warning that I showed in the video that where I walked around the gallery. Due to the recent theft, security's been tightened, night guards will attack if you're in between 7 p.m. and 9 a.m. So there is Margaret the curator.
Good afternoon.
And I don't do voices, so I'm just going to read. And there is a lot of dialogue, at least initially, so bear with me here.
What do you want?
Have you found the stolen crown? So far, no. We have searched everywhere and found nothing conclusive. But we know the crown could not have left the gallery. All staff are searched every time they leave. I implemented that rule myself. The crown was there when the gallery closed. I saw it myself. But by the next morning it had gone. There was no sign that anyone got into the gallery from outside. It must have been an inside job. So I could offer to help. I could help you find it. You? I don't even know you from any stranger off the street. Why would I give you access to the gallery? Of course, if you were someone I personally knew, then I might be able to trust you. And that's actually... Oh, here we go. The Emperor The Emperor himself trusted me. I think we can agree that the Emperor was more than a little addled in the wits when he handed the fate of the Empire over to a stranger. Ain't that the truth? Or to be more precise, the first stranger he met in a prison, and a dark prison at that. I could offer to help her again, but basically she told us before that we need to improve disposition with her, or her disposition, because she barely knows us. So
I'm listening.
This is the Oblivion disposition, whatever thingy that I never figured out throughout the years that I played Oblivion. I just go for the direct approach and bribe. Bribe.
For me?
Yep.
You should. How nice. I'll take that and
Bribe.
See?
And
was that hard?
Not at all. And we're done. Now, I could help you find it. It might be a good idea to have an outsider come in. You might be able to get the staff to open up and talk to you. Very well, then. You can investigate under the guise of being my new secretary. Your office is just south of mine, the one with the 2 doors. You will need this key. It gives access to all the staff offices so that you can search those. Sneaky. I will put some information you will need on your desk, so be sure to check there first. One last thing, make sure you're out of the gallery each day by 7 p.m. When it closes, the night guards are under orders to kill anyone they see. Yeah, I really was driving that home. Okay, so...
Good day.
We just got hired and are now Margaret, the Gallery Curator's secretary, and a little bit inappropriately dressed for a secretary and a little bit overarmed for a secretary. But it's our first day. So, first things first, we are going to go check out our office, which is just down here. And we need to gather the information that she left for us on the desk.
What's this about?
And then we need to go and talk to all the gallery staff, and then things could really get moving. So right through here, in staff area, there's all sorts of areas throughout the gallery where it's just the staff that are allowed. But now we can access them because now we have a master key. And in addition to that, here is our swanky office. And this here is our pigeonhole. And throughout the quest, there will be orders, I would say, appearing, letters appearing here from other staff members telling us of jobs they want us to do and so forth. So we have to watch that closely. So this is the staff list. Margaret, the curator. Artemis Black is head of the Anub, or also known as the Egyptian exhibit. Bronwyn Brellan, or maybe she's Brennan. Alien exhibit. Darren Oslin, aquariums. Donovan Fetcher, dragon display. Hannah Phelan, pottery exhibit. Rachel Renoir, Hall of Masters. Solomon White, creature displays. Lonan Freeze, the janitor. Blah, 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 out of the gallery by 7 p.m. and 8 a.m. here. Okay, I'll just make a note to fix that. And down here, check your pigeonhole regularly as you will receive work and communication from the other staff there and from myself. Do not let the staff know you are here to find a thief. You must stick to your story of being my new secretary. And finally, and very important, the only way I can act and have the thief arrested is to have the crown and a confession from the thief. You cannot go throwing around wild accusations without solid proof. We must have both the crown and a confession. Come and see me once you have these. The crown was stolen at some point during the night. In order to get to the crown, the thief must have deactivated the alarm system, gone to the royal jewels display, swapped the crown for one of the fake crowns that can be bought from the gift shops, and then reactivated the security systems. The thief clearly hoped that the theft would not be discovered and the fake crown would pass for the real thing behind a display glass. What I cannot figure out is how the thief got into the security rooms in order to deactivate the alarms. They were still locked up in the morning and I hold the only key. So, your first move should be getting to know the staff and the gallery. The Royal Jewels display has been thoroughly searched by the town guards and nothing found, so your best bet is to search the offices of the staff when they are not there, of course, and to speak to them all. If you find yourself at a dead end, come back to your office and check your pigeonhole. Something new may have cropped up. Oh, here we go. And she says, if you're absolutely stuck and need a walkthrough, go to the creature display and examine the mushrooms right by the deer. And we'll do that at that point. And we will meet somebody there. Somebody you've met before. But, like I said, first thing we're going to try and get through this by ourselves. So, let's go do as she suggested. Do as she suggested and go and meet the staff. And this is the office of Hannah Phelan, the head of the pottery display. So I don't see anything unusual in her office. Nope, nothing really exciting going on here. So the staff are generally in their offices in the morning and the afternoon, but they break for lunch. And I'm thinking it's lunchtime, isn't it? It's lunchtime. So this is the office of Bronwyn Brellan, the head of the Alien exhibit. Yeah, let's just, what's that? A note? No, not that. That. You should never have been born, you filthy cross-spawn. Leave Pell's Gate. That's interesting. Okay, there's a couple of side quests in the gallery as well. Let's check out the bin. First thing you need to do in any adventure game is check out the bin. Get out of Pell's Gate, filthy half-breed. You should have been drowned at birth. Oh, very nice. You're so welcome here, you filthy half-breed bitch. Get out or die. And get out or die, you filthy half-breed bitch. This is your last warning. Yeah, I think somebody doesn't like Bronwyn. Right, I don't see anything else really interesting, and I might be missing things, but it will all come to light, I'm sure. So, let's see if we can go grab any of the staff and start talking, because there's a lot of talking to get through. Right down here is the office of the head of the dragon display, which is you.
Go ahead, please.
Donovan Fetcher. So we have a lot of chatting to do, and we can ask about all the other staff members and what they think of the theft and what the job is. So we'll start with the job. Donovan Fetcher, head of the dragon display. Nice to meet you. And we'll ask about Artemis. He's a good friend, known him for years. Bronwyn. She is the newest member of staff. I think she came from a museum in Valenwood. Darren, he's okay. Keeps himself to himself. Hannah, She's a looker, all right. We are friends. Rachel, she's a lovely woman, very kind and generous. Solomon, quiet sort, very dedicated to his job. The janitor, I don't trust him at all. He looks shifty. So let's ask him about the theft. I didn't see anything. I was examining a new dragon bone I received that day. Right, he's not very, hasn't given us a lot of information.
Goodbye.
And we can't search his office because he's in it. But I'm just going to take a quick look in here. So, a lot of dialogue. A lot of it is about the characters of the staff. But you will find gems in there. Things that will give clues. So, that was Donovan Fetcher.
What's this about?
I'm going to head down here and see if I can catch any of the other stuff. So Margaret's still there. Let's head down to the Egyptian exhibit because that's completely law friendly. Or not. And in a previous video I did a quest in this particular exhibit. But hidden right at the back here is the office of Artemis Black, the head of the Enub or Egyptian exhibit, and he's not in his office. I wanted to talk to him. Right, so heading swiftly back this way. Actually, I think what I'll do is just wait, and he'll return to his office if I just wait for an hour. Right, that was a boring hour. He's not here. He'll be on his way back here. He really will. 3:46. Come on, Artemis. He's taking an extended lunch. If I remember correctly, he has lunch every day with Rachel Renoir in the shop, the village shop area cafe. So moving swiftly on, let's see if I can finally, let's head in this way to the Hall of Masterpieces, and just to the left here is another section, another staff section. So right through here is the office of Rachel Renoir, who's not in a freaking office. What the? She is the head of the Hall of Masterpieces. Where in God's name is everybody? Right, I don't see much of interest. Too much of interest in here. Let's check in the desk. Blah, blah, blah. No. Right. I'd love to find some stuff. Consider this just a walk around the gallery. We'll find stuff at some point. And this is a storage room. Where's that light coming from? Oh. Never mind. And through here is the back of the aquariums. And up here is access to the aquariums, each of the aquariums. There's 2 aquariums, as we saw in a previous video. But along here is, and there is finally one of the staff is there, Darren Oslin.
Yes?
So let's start by asking his job. I am Darren Oslin. I run the aquariums. And Artemis, good man, does his job and keeps to himself. Bronwyn, the wood elf, don't know anything about her. Donovan, he's a friend. Hannah Phelan, she's very annoying, always hanging around me and making suggestive comments. I wish she'd keep herself to herself. Rachel, she's a nice woman, been working here as long as I have. Solomon is a friend, a good sort. The janitor, he's a janitor. It's very informative. What do you think of the theft? I don't know anything about it. I was in my office all night working on paperwork. Shouldn't you be doing secretarial things? Okay, well, he's not very friendly.
Good day.
It's Darren Oslin. And he's got little fish tanks here with little fish in. Oh, cute. And moving on. So, I still need to speak to Solomon White. And he's the head of the creature displays. And if we get stuck, this is where we need to come. Right, so to find his office, you would think this is just an ordinary, normal display, wouldn't you? Nope. Right at the back here. And this should be Solomon White's office. Ah, there he is. And there's his office. So,
I'm listening. Please, go ahead.
oh, he's got all sorts of... I gotta check your desk right in front of you. And you're not gonna care. Okay, Solomon.
What?
What's your job? I'm the head of the creature display. Solomon White is my name. Did you need anything else? Artemis? He's alright, never said a nasty word to me. Bronwyn? She seems a very nice woman, very friendly and easy to talk to. Darren, the guy we just talked to. Darren, he's a friend. Okay, that's a bit suspicious. Donovan Fetcher, he's nice enough. Hannah Falan. Hannah, she's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. Rachel? I like Rachel. She's been very kind to me since I arrived. The janitor. He's not the nicest of people. I don't think he likes me very much. What do you think of the theft? The theft? I imagine it was a gang of thieves. That wasn't suspicious at all. Not at all.
Goodbye.
I don't remember who did it, by the way. Yeah, got potions and aquariums and all sorts of cool stuff at the back here. Right. Check time, because we have to be out by 7. And I'm still missing a whole bunch more people. Let's head back through this way. We'll go back through the aquariums. It's a lot of walking. And just before we do, if you missed the previous video, the Royal Jewels display, I'm going to show you where the crown was stolen from. It's not there, it's right here. And left in here was the Empress crown and the Heir crown. And as you can see, there's this weird security glass, which is completely non-law friendly. But nothing in this gallery is law friendly. But then that raises a question, right? It had to have been an inside job because, like Margaret said in her note, the curator, the alarm must have been turned off, the crown replaced with the fake one, and then the alarm turned back on. So it could only have been an inside job. Now we have Hannah Falan, Bronwyn, and Rachel, and who else? Oh, we got to speak to the curator herself. That was briefly the aquarium. So let's make our way back to the office. Lots of walking. But there's lots of pretty things to see on the way, so that's good. Oh, we got to speak to the janitor as well. Let's go see if we can grab the janitor. And once the initial introductions are done, it's not too dialogue intensive. But for the initial bit, this is a janitor's closet. Oh, that was exciting. So back to our office, or the office section. Back and around. And through. Start with Bronwyn. And she better be there. Come on, Bronwyn. Yes, she's finally here.
What?
Bronwyn Brellan. Okay. Let's ask her. Artemis, the Dark Elf. He has the usual Dark Elf superiority complex. He's great friends with the janitor. I really wouldn't be surprised if I heard those two had been arrested for the theft. That's why. Well, Artemis got the janitor the job here, and I know the janitor's up to no good. My father was a skooma addict. He would come home with that look in his eyes, sort of a vacant, glazed look. I've seen a janitor with that very same look. I believe he is a skooma addict. Also, where did he come from? I am convinced that Artemis brought the janitor into the gallery as his accomplice, that they both stole the crown. If we could just find the janitor's skooma, we could confront him. A skooma addict is never far from his next fix. Right. Darren, something about him makes me feel uneasy. I can't put my finger on it exactly. Something in his eyes seems cold. I'm sure you think I'm being silly. Donovan's very nice. He's one of the few here who treat me like an equal. To be honest, I find him very attractive. Oh. Hannah. She's a friend, even more of a good friend to men, but she's harmless enough. Rachel. She's the most kind-hearted, generous woman I've ever met, and we haven't met her yet. Solomon White. Solomon is quite quiet and nervous, but he is a pleasant man. So, what's your job? I'm Bronwyn Brellan of the Valenwood Woodhearth Brellans. I run the Alien exhibit. Look, I know what it is to be the new one around. If you need any help, I'm happy to help. That's very kind of her. And the theft. I was working all night, mostly in my office, although I did see something a little off. I came out of my office on my way to speak to Rachel about a portrait of some alien ruins when I saw a figure. The person ran through the door to the gallery, out through the door. I'm afraid the light was dim and I couldn't tell who it was. Did anything else strange happen? No, not that night, but there is something that I've been wondering about. Why would the thief only take one crown? There were 2 other crowns in that display. It just seems very strange. It does, actually, doesn't it? The janitor. He's really creepy, isn't he? I've often caught him snooping around where he shouldn't be. Okay, so at this point, we picked up those nasty letters from her desk and from her bin. We can ask her about those. Yes, I've been getting letters, very nasty ones. It doesn't surprise me, though. My heritage is somewhat different. My mother is a wood elf, and my father is an imperial soldier. They met and fell in love when my father was stationed in our hometown in Valenwood. Their love was not accepted, and when I came along, things got worse. They were driven out of town and returned to the imperial city. But the Imperials were no better than the wood elves. We were subjected to insults and even violence. Finally, we moved to Morrowind in a town called Surren, where interracial marriages are accepted. If you played Morrowind, you know Surren. My parents told me that my heritage would earn me hatred, but I still chose to come to Cyrodiil and study the aliens. I have met with such hatred here. Many people won't even look me in the eye unless it is with disgust. Such insults and hatred. But Margaret didn't care. She only cared about my knowledge of the alien race. She gave me this job, even though many of the staff opposed it. She's a great woman, fair and compassionate. I admire her greatly. I wish I knew who was writing these letters. If it can only be another member of the staff, the letters just appear on my desk. Right, so that's a hint. She gave us 2 really important things there. Firstly, we need to go see if we can find whether or not the janitor is actually on skooma. And secondly, we need to find who's writing the letters to her. And we have finally caught up with Hannah Phelan herself. Oh, really, I want to talk.
What can I do for you?
So, what's your job? Welcome, I'm Hannah Phelan. I run the pottery display in the gallery. I'm sure you will love it here and we'll become great friends. I'm sure. Artemis? Artemis, he's a very nice man. He's helping me learn about Egyptian culture in his spare time. I didn't even know there was an Egyptian race in Tamriel. Me neither. But there is now. Bronwyn. Dear Bronwyn, she's a great friend. Darren? Darren is so handsome, isn't he, with those piercing blue eyes? Donovan? He's very handsome, is he not? And so very strong. I like a man with big muscles and a big attitude. Rachel? She is nice enough, has eyes for Artie, but of course that will never happen. Solomon! Solomon? He's not a very attractive man, is he? Unless you like the short, bold, nervous sort. The janitor. He's crazy, don't listen to anything he says. Okay. And the theft. Goodness, I don't know anything about that. Right, so that's Hannah Phelan.
You too.
If we were still modding Oblivion big time, I would have this voice acted. I actually would, but I would have loved to have got it voice acted, but it's just, it's not worth it at this point, and I have to focus on other projects. So at this point, I'm going to check the time. It's 6:25. Do I have the time? Probably not. Right. Oh, actually, I got the time to get the heck out of the gallery. No, wrong office. Only got half an hour. Run. 7 o'clock. The new guards will be there. And they will kick your butt. So I think what I'll do for my first night in Pell Escape is actually go and rent a hotel room. And then turn up to work first thing in the morning. What time is it? Okay, I'm going to ask you real quick.
A pleasure to speak with you.
And this is Margaret, of course. I'm Margaret, the curator of this gallery. Artemis? Artemis is a bit of a strange one. Sometimes I get the feeling he's not entirely what he seems at first glance. Bronwyn? Bronwyn is highly qualified in alien artifacts. We were lucky to get her. That said, I don't know her on a personal level. Darren? Good man, works hard and gets the job done. He has been here a long time and is one of the more trustworthy members of staff. Donovan? Donovan has been here for years. The man is obsessed with his job and keeps badgering me to send him to the Gerald Mountains. Dragons haven't been seen for years in Cyrodiil, but Donovan believes reports of sightings and is determined to find himself a live dragon. I have to keep telling him we don't have the money to fund such an expedition, and he keeps asking me to sell off exhibits to make the funds. However, it seems lately he has found funds elsewhere, but he wouldn't elaborate on where exactly he got the money. That's interesting, Hannah. She's all right and not such a good worker. Her mind is always on men. She was here when I came. Good thing, too, because I would not have hired her, not with her background. You just cannot trust that type. The last curator was a man. I have no doubt she seduced her way into her job. Rachel Renoir. Rachel is an expert in her field. She's also a good friend. Solomon? Solomon's very quiet. He's been here for a few years now and works very hard. The janitor. I gave him the job as a favor to someone else, but he has worked out well, does his job well. So that was Margaret, and we are going to hustle out of the gallery super, super, super quick. She just gave us some important information. Donovan, the head of the dragon display, has found himself some funds to fund his expedition to, I don't know, Skyrim or the Gerald Mountains, and to get to research dragons. So we're going to ask him about that tomorrow, but it is just coming up to 7 p.m. and it is time to go find ourselves somewhere to settle down for the night, and I think the Roaming Spirit Inn is the perfect place.
Good evening. What?
I think we're in for some hard times. The death of Uriel Septim and his heirs changes everything. What's the news from the other parts of Tamriel?
Nothing I'd like to talk about.
Uh-huh. Have you heard any word about the other provinces?
Be seeing you.
Oblivion's
By what right do
dialogue
you disturb
system.
me?
So this seems a nice enough place. It's not too down and dirty like the Cloak and Dagger Inn, and it's not quite as posh as the Royal Hotel, so I think it would suit a secretary just fine.
What can I do for you?
I want to rent a room. Yes, we do have a room for 60 septim. 60? Wait, what? I'll take it. Room is upstairs on the right. Excellent.
Take care.
I think I've had a long day.
Annoying creature.
Perhaps tomorrow I'll purchase
I
myself
don't know if I can help you,
some
but I'll try.
more appropriate attire for a secretary before we head into work tomorrow. Do you have any dialogue?
What do you want?
No, you don't. Okay, not everybody has
Take
new
care.
dialogue, but a lot of people do. Oh, she's one of the street merchants.
Good day.
So, I think my bed is here, and with... Oh, no, not a bad room, huh?
How are you?
Quite
Not
simple.
bad.
What's the news from the other parts of
Oh,
Tamriel?
jeez.
Black Marsh has become more dangerous than
Shut up,
ever.
you lot. I'm trying to
Many
get some
settlements
rest.
have been lost,
With
and
that,
most
I'm going to end this
non-Argonians
video
have
here,
left.
get myself a real good night's sleep, and start the second day as the new secretary in the gallery. See you in the next video.